Hey everybody, this is Dan for GemmyD on Cars. Now you're joining me on a beautiful Friday afternoon here in November. We're almost close to Thanksgiving. I haven't posted a car review in a couple weeks just because I was busy last weekend, but today I have my hands on this. This is a 2020 Lexus IS300. This car has a 3.5 liter 6-cylinder engine, 260 horsepower, about the same in torque, like 250, 260. The owner of this car used to have an older IS and they liked it so much that they sort of got another one. Now this is a 2020. Lexus has just come out with a redesigned 2021, but this was still a brand new 2020 when they bought it a couple months ago. So we're going to take a look around it. We're going to give all the specs and tour, and then we're going to get this thing on the road. So let's take a look at the Lexus IS300. This car competes with cars like the BMW 3 Series and an Audi A4. I have a little bit of experience with them. I've driven the new 3 Series. I guess you could consider, the Audi A4 a BMW Giulia. Now, I think the reason that the owner of this car got this car is for the comfort, and it is very smooth. And I'm going to sort of compare them to the Audis and BMWs because I do think this is in the same realm or same class. Now, this car having a bigger displacement V6 is a little bit different from the other cars. Like a BMW 3 Series has a 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder, and this car also has a 2-liter. But in the 6-cylinder realm, I guess you could say, there's the BMW 340 that has like way more horsepower than this, like 380. So it's kind of like in an in-betweener. This car does offer a smaller and a bigger engine with the IS250 and the IS350. But this is sort of like the sweet spot in the middle. But it's just kind of, I'm not going to say outdated, that the other cars in this class that have the 6-cylinder engine have like way more horsepower. This just sort of is, I think the right amount of horsepower. I think that the owner of this car also wanted to get a V6 because they prefer a 6-cylinder to a 4-cylinder, and that comes with a little bit more power. But I think this car is super smooth and the styling looks good and a little bit controversial, which we'll talk about. But all right, let's talk about the styling. All right, now when you talk about the styling of this Lexus, you have to go up front first. Now this has been sort of a controversial bit of design over the years, but we know that the BMW has now come out with the monster kidney grille, so this doesn't seem as crazy anymore. But I think the design is unique, and it just sort of, this car has been around for a long time. This is now the 3rd generation IS, but yeah, it doesn't look too bad considering Audi has a huge grille that nobody really talks about. It's just been big for a while. BMW now has the big grills, but the only thing I think is a little bit weird is the shape of the actual headlight itself, which it's just kind of funky, but I think it's cool. I've always liked how the LEDs come down, swooping down in the middle. That's a big part of Lexus's design element. But yeah, the grille does not look that bad. There are some, on the newer Lexuses, there are way more intricate designs on the grille itself. This just sort of has the horizontal slats, but I think it looks pretty good. Now this color is absolutely beautiful in the sun. This is called atomic silver, and I really think this is the color to get. Plus the color of the interior that we'll see in a little bit, it just fits so well. You can really see the lines very nicely in the sun here today. But one other cool element I think is pretty unique. Normally when you see cars, their taillights sort of swoop up. They always generally go up. This car, they sort of swoop down, and that sort of continues down below to the rocker panel. That's just sort of a unique feature of this car. I can't think of any other cars in this segment that have that. They always are scooping up, but this one's definitely go down. This has the 5-spoke wheels. Yeah, they're very nice too. But yeah, this color, and there you can sort of see the interior color right there. It just looks really good together with this atomic silver. Now the other cool thing I think about Lexus is the design of their taillights. They really shy away from any sort of shapes. They're really just sort of sweeping lines that go in. There's the reverse light. I just think they look really cool at night too, with these little red dashes lit up. Yeah, you got a nice little subtle spoiler right there. Two really nice looking exhaust tips right there. I think they look really good. Yeah, this car is all-wheel drive. Yeah, but this color and the interior color is the way to go. So yeah, I think the redesigned 2021 Lexus just sort of takes this and makes it a little more grown up. They still have the crazy, LEDs in the front, but I think they look really good. So this car would definitely be cheaper than the alternatives of BMW, Alfa Romeo, Audi. So you sort of have the performance and the style to go with it at a cheaper price. So you could not fault anybody for getting this car. So, all right, let's take a look at the engine. All right, so here's the engine of the IS300. This is a 3.5 liter V6 with 260 horsepower, 236 foot-pounds torque. Now this car will go 0 to 60 in about 6.2 seconds, which is, if you think about it, it is plenty fast. I keep comparing this to the other BMWs, Audis, and Alfa Romeo Giulias that go 0 to 60 in 4 point something, but that is not what this car is for. There is the IS350 F Sport, which is 311 horsepower if you want to go super fast, but this I think is just right. This is the middle of the range IS, and the person that bought this car, that is exactly what they wanted. You have your distinct styling with a decent amount of speed and style, and plus all-wheel drive for our Pennsylvania winters here. So that is the engine right there. Now let's check out the trunk. All right, so this is the trunk of the IS300. Now, considering how small this car is, I mean, I would not call this a big car. This is a pretty big trunk. I'd definitely say comparable to the other cars in this class. Now, you got a 60/40 folding split back there, which is nice for your stuff, You could take small trips with this car to fill it up, but yeah, this is pretty big. Definitely for a, I guess I'll say, subcompact, sports sedan. So I think this is more than enough. All right, let's take a look at the interior. All right, going onto the interior. Now this is where I think this car styling really shines through too here. Now this color, for lack of a better term, this is called, I think the interior color is called flax, but I'm gonna call it tan. This car has a beautiful sort of two-tone black and tan interior scheme, which I think it looks so good. I absolutely love this color interior. Now, one thing about Lexus's, I think their interior design is good. I definitely like the materials in this car. I mean, this is a nice thick rim steering wheel. We got a 6-speed automatic transmission with shift paddles right here, but I just think the interior design is sort of aged a little bit. Now, having said that, this is the 2020 Lexus, which is the last generation of this type of Lexus, which was redesigned for 2021. And it still has nice materials, but I just think it's a little bit outdated as far as the infotainment and the nav screen. Now, this car does not come equipped with a navigation, and the owner of this car thought that was completely fine because they use their phone mostly and Waze. Also, this car has sort of been panned for this little click wheel, which I don't think is too bad. So let's start her up. Yeah, having a 3.5 liter V6, it definitely sounds pretty decent. Now, the other thing that their graphics of the main screen, I think, is just a little bit sort of behind a little bit. Now, just from experience, if I'm thinking of an Audi or a BMW, they have, all digital screens, and this car has the, just the analog dials, which are very nice. You've got the screen in the middle where you can go over a bunch of things at the top. Yes, I know my door is open. Yeah, you've got up there, you can go through your audio, a bunch of different things, but yeah, it's just a little bit behind, and I'm sure that the 2021 definitely addressed this, but I can only take this for what it is. This is a 2020. Now the silver trim looks really good too. You've got some in the middle right here, you've got it on the doors right there. So if we go to the menu, yeah, audio off, yeah, the radio, just this, the screen, it just looks a little bit dated, which is, lots of things move progressively fast, in car interiors, but it is just showing its age just a little bit, which is okay. Now we've got a heated steering wheel, heated seats, cooled seats. Yeah, you got the seat snakes right there. But yeah, I think this car, taking it for what it is, and you're not comparing it, you have the reliability of a Lexus. This would definitely be a solid car for you. Now, when doing my research on this car, just for research's sake, Car and Driver said that this is the 15th best, sports sedan in the segment, and I don't agree with that. You have the Lexus reliability. Toyota and Lexus are always reliable. You've got the distinct styling, and the driving experience is decent. We're gonna go through that in a little bit here. But I might agree that the BMW and the Germans and maybe a Kia Stinger might be just a little bit ahead of this car. But sorry, there's a fly. But 15th best? No, I don't think so. I think Lexus as a whole, their offerings are solid, but not many of them are the best in the category. Like the Lexus LS 460 or whatever it's called, that would be a fantastically smooth and competent and technological car, but they just sort of get overshadowed by the Germans because they have been so solid for so long. But yeah, I don't have much bad to say about this. It's just the interior looks a little bit dated, but still, that is not a problem. I would not fault anybody for buying this car. This is a sweet little ride. So let's take a look at the back seat. All right, we're gonna try to beat the train and go in the back seat here. Now, the owner of this car, his children that are grown, so they don't need to worry about the back seat here. But yeah, if I had the seat where I drove it, now when you turn the car on, the seat automatically moves back. So when I turn this car on, this seat will move up forward. But yeah, it's a little bit tight back here. I guess you consider this like a compact sports sedan, and yeah, it's a little tight. I did a review of a 2009 Lexus IS, which this was the previous car of the owner of this car, and I said the same thing in that car. This is a little bit cramped, but this fits the people who bought this. Their kids are grown, and they don't often, they take their granddaughter some places in this car, which is more than enough for a little kid. But if you have two kids that are getting a little bit bigger, this might be a little bit tight, but you already know that when you're buying this car, so it's not going to be a shock to anybody. So guess what? It's a little bit tight. All right, so this is going to wrap up my little video of the Lexus, so let's wrap it up. All right, so this is gonna wrap up my sort of little quick walk around here of this. This is a 2020 Lexus IS300. Now, like I said earlier, there's no way that this is the 15th best car in this class. You've got the distinctive styling and the Lexus reliability. I think this could be a solid car for anybody who's in the market for a compact sports sedan. Sure, it's going to be a little cheaper than the competitors and a little bit down in horsepower, but someone who's buying this car that's not all about the horsepower wars, we'll say, which you can get 700 horsepower out of a coupe now anymore, and this is more than adequate for 90% of the people who are going to buy this car. So we're going to wrap this up and get this car out on the road and see what it's like to drive. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at GemmyD on Cars. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I got lots of cool cars coming up. So thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one. See ya. Excuse me. I'm trying to film a video here. Stop it. Hey, stop it.